The following podcast is a collection of creatives posing interesting perspectives and opinions on branding, marketing, business, and everything in between. The views expressed on this podcast do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of its guests, hosts, or production team. The names, circumstances, and situations discussed are about 98% fictitious, with the primary intent to protect the guilty. Well, this podcast is designed to educate, inform, enlighten, and if you're entertained in the process,
Listen, this Drake and Kendrick thing is heating up. People getting shot. People are pedophiles. It's going all wild. In this episode, we're going to talk about how this battle affects their brand, what the next steps are, and it's all coming up on the Making the Brand podcast. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world today. I want to welcome you to the Making the Brand podcast. I am Jarvis Releford.
And I am Kris Kinder.
Listen, we got a super action-packed, guns flaring episode today. Like it's a lot.
Heavy on the guns.
Heavy on the guns flaring. Like, and that ain't even funny, but guns flaring, it's a lot. Before we get into it, though, I always want to dig into your world. I want to know what you got going on. What movie you in, and did your dude come to set?
Oh my God. First and foremost, my world is great. Shout out to the Philadelphia 2, great martial arts film that I was a part of, really sweeping the nation with awards across the film festivals.
Okay.
I am super excited. Harris, you are the one. I hope you see this, but you are phenomenal. It was such an honor to shoot this film with you, and I'm excited about that. So the major things about what's happening now is just the great people that I get to learn. I guess the older you get, the more you realize that the treasures are the people,
right? And
what comes out of people's just these beautiful visions, and you can find yourself in it, be a part of it. That's life, and we get to do it. And I'm up now for Best Supporting Actor in the film. That's super excited.
Okay, we got to vote. Where we vote at?
It's the film festival, so they have their own votes. No, but to even be considered in that sector is amazing to me. Every now and then, God will let you know you're on the right path. So
that's it.
What about you? What's going on with you?
We got the Bahamas coming back up. We got the DR coming up in July. It's a lot going on.
Nice.
Clients cooking. My clients are winning. I had one client. We'll talk about it. But anywho, we got to get into this Drake. We got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. So listen, how far is too far?
When somebody gets shot or killed.
That's too far?
Yes.
So as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you got the hats, you got the acting, you do the photography, right? When it comes to your competitors, when it comes to your competition, I feel like my mic far away too. When it comes to your competitors and it comes to your competition, like how far are you willing to go to like create that distance? Like, hey, I'm the best at what I do, and this is how far I'm willing to go to prove it. Like, are you beyond like rumors? Are you beyond starting rumors? Are you beyond, or is that all like in your bag? Like,
I just feel like my work will speak for me. And this is my personal, this is my personality. You play spades with me. I'm not a noise talker, but once I start winning, I win big.
You win big?
Understand? Yes.
Okay.
I celebrate the wins. But
are you
I'm
one to
very
slap the card on the table and make the loud noise?
You know what? I'm not a slapper. What I'll do is
you just drop it.
And drop it. Like I'm, so it's exaggerated. I'm extra, but I'm always calculating. I'm the one that's gonna watch my opponents, right? I have had rumors being told on me. I've had people try to tear me down. I just believe that I'm a student. I'm a student of any craft that I take a part of.
I think you have to be.
You have to be. And you have to be willing to take the falls. But the strongest people strategize to get back up.
Absolutely.
You don't just get back up without a plan.
Absolutely.
You take the falls, learn how you feel, strategize and get back up.
Okay.
Now, I'm a loud winner.
Okay.
I'm not I don't boast in it, but I win just like I fall. If I fail, I probably fail loud, but I'm going to win loud as well. So I'm not above celebrating the wins, and I'm not above accepting the falls. I think the best story of anyone that wins any battle or any war is the resilience in the process.
How down do you stay in the process?
Yep.
I like that. I like that. I think that I'm super competitive.
I know.
I'm ultra competitive. To a point where I don't think I would start like rumors about people or lie to, and I'm not saying that's what Kendrick did. I don't know. It's tea, is gossip. It's it's girl stuff. But I'm competitive as they come. I'm gonna talk trash when I win. I'm gonna talk trash when I lose. I'm modest.
Yeah.
I'm modest. I'm humble. I know how to win with grace. I'm graceful. You know what I'm saying? But I'm competitive as they come. Now the trick to my competitiveness is there's other photographers in Atlanta. There's tons of photographers in Atlanta. There's tons of brand agencies in Atlanta. There's tons of the competition is there.
Yeah.
But they're not my competition. Does that make sense?
You don't even see them as competition. I believe that's what Drake was.
Yeah, you're not my competition. You're not. My competitors don't know me. I was working at the bank. We keep talking about this bank. I was working at the bank, and the guy called in. It was an attorney, and he was like, "Hey, Jarvis, I'm looking for a check. Da 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 da." And we got to process certain questions. We got to ask, okay, well, how, do you have the check number, the amount of the check? He's like, yeah. Check number 2936 and the amount of $16,000. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm looking. I'm like, well, after looking, I didn't see the check. And I was like, I don't see this amount. And then I was like, well, give me the payee and something else. And in the memo, what you put in the memo. And so he gave me the payee, and it was to like TGI Photography. And I'm looking like, you paid a photographer $16,000? And when I looked up who the photographer was, some white guy, and he's responsible for shooting Pele. He's responsible for shooting Messi from the dude. He's responsible for shooting all these top tier soccer, tennis play. He was responsible for all of this. And his work was dope. And I was like, damn, people would pay $16,000. I'm charging $250 for a photo shoot. This nigga charging $16,000. So that guy is my competition. He don't even know me.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and he don't even know me, but I don't know him. But that's who these dudes here in Atlanta, they cool. Like, what we doing is cool. But my competition is on another level. My competition is, because that's what I aspire to be.
So do you think that thought process is the same process that Drake took when he was looking at Kendrick?
Nah, I think
people are saying that.
Nah, I think they play two different lanes. They got two different games. One's a shooting guard, one's a power forward, right? They play, one's a shooting guard and one's a first baseman. They play two different games. And I think that Drake did not expect him to respond.
That's crazy.
I think, but I don't know, his battle, his beef, so maybe he did. But I think they got deep-rooted issues that go far beyond what this music thing is saying right now. And I think it stems from competitiveness. I think it stems from competitiveness and a woman that they both had interest in.
I heard, a couple of things about that. So I'm reading this book called The 48 Laws of Power. Have you heard of it?
Yeah. Not, I'm about to say The Alchemist. No, it's 48 Laws of Power. Okay.
Yeah. So all around the same genre, right? So one of the rules is just pick an unworthy opponent, right? So you will pick the opponent that is the greatest at what they do. Right. That is the person you take on. Right. You want to go for the person that's on top. And the thing is, Drake has been on top for a long time.
Long time.
And what I do respect about that is his ability to be able to study the game, understand how the game works, and maintain that status. It's not saying that Drake is the best rapper or he's the best artist. What Drake has done is strategically maneuvered through all different styles of music and mastered it.
I agree.
He is a hard worker. So I think the battle, when we talk about this rap battle, because that's what it was, and we'll get into the strategy that Kendrick took, you know, that varies. You know what I mean? Kendrick was hard. He shocked a lot of people. But as far as the war, my personal opinion is Drake will always win the war.
I agree.
Unless Kendrick comes out with an album and kills it now that you have the momentum. If he does not release an album, he's going to lose all that momentum.
I think his style just doesn't. I agree with everything you just said. I think I agree that I believe that this part, him winning the war, is in flux. I think the allegations of pedophilia is huge. And I think not only is it huge, I think it gives some opportunistic parent who allowed their daughter to go to a Drake concert and may have gotten invited backstage or may have got invited to go to the club afterwards. They might be 15 and looks like she's 23, 24 years old and ended up. I think it gives them the opportunity to say, yep, Drake touched me. And now we had, because like Kendrick saying, yo, you're a pedophile is one thing. I think that's low for me. That's a low blow.
If it's not true.
If you don't
even if it is true though.
I mean, if it's true, you have a duty to tell us.
But if it's true, his duty to tell us wasn't on the grounds of holding him accountable. It was on the grounds of
true.
You understand what I'm saying?
True.
So either way, the way we got it,
true.
It's like, yeah, true. It may be true, and it's like, but you're not holding this dude accountable for what he's doing. Facts. You're not telling the world because you want to change this industry and shift it.
Right.
What you did was you spreaded some rumors that you've known for a long time.
Right. If it's true.
If it's true. You didn't just see this. You're posting videos that were from 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Right.
That means you've been sitting on this.
Right.
So
he's just as culpable.
Huh?
He's just as culpable.
Correct. So it was hard to receive
that shit was whack.
That. It's just so messy.
Yeah,
it felt messy. So, and I'm gonna say this with no disregard. It just felt like messy salon gossip.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Because and you know what? I expected messy salon gossip from Drake. I didn't expect messy salon gossip from Kendrick. I expected Kendrick to out rap Drake. I expected Kendrick to out bar Drake. I expected Kendrick to wrap circles around Drake.
That's true.
I expected that.
We did expect that.
I expected, and I'm gonna be honest. I didn't get it. I didn't get any of that. I got. Me and Tone were talking earlier, and what I got was, in the best frame to put it in is, I'm a Jay-Z fan to the core. Like, well, I was a Jay-Z fan to the core, but when Nas dropped Ether, it was undeniable.
True.
It was indisputable. It was irrefutable. This is it. Ether is Freddy Krueger. Nightmare on Elm Street. These 4 records that Drake dropped, these 4 records that Kendrick dropped, to me was Child's Play, Chucky. It was Chucky. It was Goosebumps on Nickelodeon. Like it wasn't like, oh, I'm scared. It ain't the boogeyman in the closet. It ain't the boogeyman. It ain't the man under the bed. It was light work. And so I expected Ether like feelings from it, and we didn't get it. We got tea, we got gossip. Your wife had a baby, like, and I don't care about that.
You like kids, it was. So I was talking to a friend of mine. Shout out to Jeremiah. So talking to a friend of mine, and he says,
"Is this your dude?"
No.
Oh, okay.
No. We're not name dropping any. That's shout out to Jeremiah. So I'm talking to Jeremiah, and he says, you know what, I found it hard to do, because when Kendrick dropped the club banger, Not One of Us, he says, how do you dance to somebody calling somebody a pedophile and talking all of that? How do you even bump that in the club and not hear what is being said on this? It's like, it's a club banger for the beat, yes, and the style and the flow, but how do you do that? I couldn't bob to any of it half of the time, and it started with Chris Brown talking about he wish,
I like that though.
Come on, everybody wished it was you.
Yeah, I like that.
Why?
That was dope.
No, that wasn't dope. Everybody's response to that was this.
That's what beef is. That's what beef is. That face, let's zoom in on that face. That's what beef is. That's what rap beef is. I need to be like, ooh, that's tea. And that's how it was this whole Kendrick thing. When Kris said, when Takeoff died, everybody wished it was you. That was dope.
I was stuck for 2 minutes.
Yeah,
I timed it.
That's
I couldn't
that's what we
believe
needed. That's rap beef. And Quavo, that was Quavo's ether. Quavo can't rap. He can't come back from that.
He tried.
He tried.
He brought Takeoff from the dead and tried. I was like, if you can't do it, rising him up from the ashes, just don't do it.
And I like the record. I actually like the record. I like Takeoff on it.
It was dope, but it wasn't.
It wasn't what Kris just did. And we didn't expect that from Kris.
No.
How does Kris out-rap a rapper?
I think because he's just multi-talented.
He is. Kris.
I respect Kris I respect him as an artist.
Yeah.
Because he has mastered the craft from dancing, from being an entertainer, from acting. He's a great actor. True. He's just one of those all-around great superstar. He is a superstar.
He is.
So I respect him in that, and he shut that beef down.
He did.
He didn't have to come back from that.
He didn't have to. His people would say, "Hey, bro, you good."
Yeah.
Just like Nas's people said, "Hey, bro, we good.
Yeah.
It's over with. We don't got to do this again." Because I think Jay-Z responded to the Ether record, and Nas didn't have to come back. It's over with.
Did you think Drake needed to come back with that last one?
I think that Drake should have. I think that he should have. What I think he did was he played the game as if he had time. I think he should have put his ether together, delivered his ether, and been done. He threw a lot of jabs. Maybe 2 or 3 jabs, and then he had one uppercut. And the uppercut, then when he threw the uppercut, the game was over. For the court of public opinion has already said that Kendrick has won this.
Because Kendrick did what they expect Drake to do. They expected Drake to drop a club banger,
right? And
he did not.
Yeah.
I think at this point, for me, I don't think that Drake saw Kendrick as a worthy opponent. He didn't even see, and what he said was that the arrogance of it was, I'm glad I brought you back into the game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, Kendrick, that's why I say at this point, all of those people that are saying Kendrick won, Kendrick owes us an album. You owe your followers a project, a good one.
They both do.
You know, you can't talk all of that noise and not follow up with that. And I think from a branding perspective, if you're gonna goat yourself as the best at it is, you know, you're gonna have to follow up with why you're the best. If you're gonna knock him or dethrone the king, when you become king, you got to hold that position strong.
And he can't. He can't.
And so, and Lord, let me not say that. I wish you the best, and if you will, you will.
He can't.
But the thing is, what would have been a straight, solid approach to that first shot that Kendrick threw is if Drake would have said, okay, cool, I'll step back, you step up, let me see what if you can do what I've done. I'll give you a year.
And he can't.
And at that point,
he
ain't have to throw any type of record out.
Right.
With Ghostwriters. None of that. You ain't need no Ghostwriters or nothing.
And so I'm so embarrassed of this part of my life, right? I used to do music.
I remember that.
And it's not uncommon to bounce lines off other people. It's not uncommon to bounce, like no rapper is just in a room by himself, just writing rhymes.
I feel like Kendrick might be, though. He looks like he raps in the dark. Dark room, sage. I just see that.
Maybe because he has the time.
Yeah.
He has the time. Drake doesn't have that time.
This is true.
Drake doesn't have the time to be in a room by himself and write rhymes, write 16, 17 songs, and then go to the studio and record. He doesn't have that time. So again, I'm saying that as far as Ghostwriters, Ghostwriters, it's common. It's common to and as a man, if I'm in a room with you and I'm like, Kris, what you think about this line? And you're like, well, instead of saying this, you should say that. I'm like, okay, you're right. That's a good approach. As a man of integrity, and I want you to get your points, I'm gonna put you in the writing credits.
Yeah. But how do you do that in a rap beef?
At that part.
How you not write your own beef? Like, that is weird to me.
They're bouncing lines off each other. And that's normal.
I feel you.
If you've ever wrote a rhyme, if you ever rapped, if you ever wrote a song, you bounce lines off other people. And that's not uncommon.
Well, let me ask you a question. Who do you think won that rap beef, that battle?
I think that Kendrick probably out outgunned him. I think Kendrick probably outgunned Drake. I don't care for Kendrick's style of music. He has a few records that I like. I don't think he's a bad artist. I think Kendrick benefits from what we call the Andre 3000 effect. Jay-Z talks about, just because we don't understand what you say don't mean that you're nice. So I think Kendrick gets the benefit of the doubt in that situation. He said a lot of things in the battle that I thought were just whack. Like the dementia, I'll park your son, leave you shaky. Like that shit, that's whack.
Yeah.
Like, how do you park my son?
Yeah.
Like, are you gonna pull up, get him in the car, park him? Like, are you gonna sit him down? Does that mean you're gonna kill my son? What does that mean? And it's too ambiguous. But there's so many people like, oh, that's a great line because they talk about the shakiness.
Because you gotta go back and research it. Like, Euphoria.
Strong. It was a strong record.
It was strong, but I wasn't a fan of the flow.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of his flow at all.
Yeah, but for me, Sit Down, like that flow, I liked Be Humble, Sit Down. Like that flow, that was one of my favorite songs to this day. But the flow for me is what I couldn't get with it. Yeah, it was giving 90s almost, a little bit, early 2000s. So I wasn't a fan of that. But people get, I'm also a fan of quality as well. True. So I know he was throwing them out, whether they were mixed or mastered or not. I do think affects the way that we hear music.
True.
I do love the double entendres.
Yeah, that's talent. That's skill.
So you think Kendrick won or no?
I think he outgunned Drake. I think Drake may have taken some approaches that should not have been taken in battle. When it comes rhyme for rhyme, line for line, bar for bar, they both are whack to me.
Facts.
Like I was looking for an ether. I didn't get an ether. I got goosebumps on Nickelodeon at 4:00 when I got home from school. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, it felt like gossip. That was
it was love and hip hop.
Yeah.
And so I expected Kendrick to come out and bar and bar and bar. He didn't. I expected Drake to do similar. Drake did what I expected Drake to do in terms of talent and performing. But I just think that Kendrick he took the Drake route. He did Drake better than Drake did Drake. And he went out and got the T. Whether or not he got an 11-year-old daughter, who cares? I don't care. And you know how many people don't take care of their kids? That we do business with every day, that we watch on TV every day. We listen to Brian McKnight going through with his kids right now, still listen to, you know what I'm saying? Like, who cares? Yeah. Like, the only thing I cared about is if this man is really out here touching kids, because we canceled R. Kelly for it.
We did.
We canceled R. Kelly for it.
I was listening to The Breakfast Club. Just hilarious. It's like, and people in jail that are convicted for the same thing. It's like, they out here just rapping casually about it.
Yep.
I can only imagine, and for him to get on the mic and say, "You'll never find me on a sex offenders list."
Right.
He didn't say I never did it. He says, "You'll never find me on that list."
That means I ain't get caught.
And that's weird
I don't
that
know.
you
That's
can
the way you look
boast
at it.
like
that. That's perspective. Because I'm not a pedophile until I've been convicted of being a pedophile.
This is true.
And in order to be convicted, I have to. But that's. I get what you're saying. That's like saying I did it, but I ain't get caught. I don't know. And so in terms of the war is won based off how Nike responds to this. Drake has a multi-million-dollar deal with Nike,
Spotify,
yeah. Sprite, Coke. How these companies respond to that will determine if he won. How the general public, if Drake drops another album and it's #1 again, and I think, I'm gonna be honest, I think the general public has short attention span, and they'll forget if another record doesn't come out 3 weeks, we'll be on to something else.
Facts.
We'll be on to something else, and it'll be great. I don't think this is going to taint him. I don't think this is going to affect him negatively. I don't think this catapults Kendrick. I don't think this makes Kendrick I don't think this makes him more of Nike isn't going to say, hey, we want Kendrick now. Right. They're not doing that. You know what I'm saying?
That was quick.
Tone with the fingers.
I feel like it flew by. Did we just get started?
Yeah, we've been rapping. But in terms of business owners and competitiveness, man, I think it's okay to be competitive. I don't think it's okay to make up lies and rumors about the people that you're competing against in order to get ahead.
Right.
I'm not cool with that. it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. I didn't want to do an episode about this. I didn't want to do it, but I think it was necessary for business owners to know, like, you know, it's still a art to the war.
There's an art to war. There's always an art to the war.
So,
sidebar. Humor me for a second.
Uh-huh.
What if they called each other and said, hey, we need to get this bag real quick for the culture, for the industry? Because we all know hip hop artists don't make that kind of money. Unless they're on tour, going on a tour, getting ready, selling merch, they're not making that kind of money. What if these two men behind the scenes got together and said, look, we're going to go bar for bar, war to war. You know, you can say this out, you know, all gloves off, say whatever you're going to say. We're going to go back and forth. What if this stuff was orchestrated just for entertainment to sidetrack people from other things that are happening?
I believe that is very much so possible. I believe that is very much so likely that it's possible that is what has happened. Let's get the world talking about rap again. Let's get the world talking about, you know, we got albums coming out. We got tour dates coming out. We watched Drake do it with Kanye. I think that beef is real beef. I think they just don't like each other.
Kanye is at war with everybody.
Yeah, but I think that it's possible that these two could have orchestrated this and told J. Cole to stay out of it. You know, hey, you know, this is something we're gonna do. I need you to stay out of it. It's gonna get ugly. And J. Cole probably can't take the blow that Drake is taking for his brand.
Correct.
And
him or his team.
Him or his team. So he probably backed out. And I understood it when he backed out, because I know what it's like to when you get a negative review on Facebook, when you had a bad experience with a client and you know the negative review is coming. Oh yeah. It's like waiting for that diss track to come out. And it's the anxiety is high. So I knew what he meant when he was like, I ain't got time for this. I can't do this. I'm not. And he's probably in the studio channeling all of this energy to writing negative rhymes about somebody that he actually loves.
Not even his personality. It's not even his brand. Yep. It's not his brand. He's the good guy. Yep. He's the good guy of hip hop. Yep. Everybody loves J. Cole, good guy, raps about real black love. Like, that's J. Cole. Yep. I don't think we can receive him outside of that.
Nope, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So the takeaway in this is compete, but don't be a dweeb about it. Don't be a dork about it.
Compete authentically.
Compete authentically. Responsibly.
Compete responsibly.
Yeah. Compete responsibly.
Yeah.
What you got for him? What you gonna end it with today, Kris? What's the Kris Kinder nugget of wisdom?
This is it. I think outside of anything, I think if you can't really authentically face yourself in the mirror after a day of business, after a day of fighting for yourself, if you can't authentically look yourself in the mirror, then you've lost the war.
True.
You've lost the purpose. What we learned from this battle is, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you do. There are going to be people that still hate you, people that still love you.
Facts.
Stay true to yourself. Do it for your core beliefs and stand true to that. True. You know, keep it authentic.
Hey.
Real simple.
Agreed. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That's it. This is the Making a Brand podcast.